I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I'm pretty sure I like it. Okay, yeah, we got a lot to go over this time. It's been a while. Here are some recent pickups. I'm excited to open these. Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a while since we did a collection update, which the last one was, I think, 2 months ago, and we've got a good amount of stuff that's backed up here. But I am pleased to see how many people enjoyed checking out some of those PS1 long boxes, so we might have some of those in here. But I'm going to start off with the new stuff because there's actually a fair amount of new games in here. And I don't know, I feel like those are maybe less exciting, so we'll get that out of the way. We'll start with these ones, which were from Target, and these are pretty easy to open. But they had a sale going on. Buy two, get one. Figured why not, because normally my policy is don't buy new games unless I'm going to play them right away. First one, Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. Not going to front. For a while, I just wasn't really sure if this game was... I don't know, I think there was a lot of skepticism surrounding this one. Played the first demo they put out, the one where it didn't work for like 3 or 4 days. And I'm playing it and I'm like, do I like this? And I think I do. Especially once that clip came out of, what's the protagonist's name? Jack, where he's talking to the other two characters right when he meets them, and it's just some cringy but hilarious dialogue.
Look, the crystals can sense each other.
You have one too, don't you?
My mission is to kill Chaos. That's all I know.
Me too.
Good. We're all on the same hunt.
I'm Jack.
Jed.
Ash.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that and I was sold right away. So I'm like, all right, this game is very reminiscent of those, the PS2 days, where there's a lot of games that are like that, right? Anyway, next up we have Uncharted, the Legacy of Thieves collection. This is really more of a just a have it sort of thing, because I actually went for the upgrade from PS4 to 5, where you have, if you have just one of these, right, Thief's End or The Lost Legacy, it's a $10 fee, which was really surprising because you don't need both of them. Just one game, $10, you get the Legacy of Thieves collection digital. And that's kind of one of those weird things where it's like, okay, I'll happily have a digital copy saved on my PS5, and I'll just hang on to this as something where I can have it physical, keep it sealed, which disc is loose on that one, but we will try and recenter that. And yeah, whatever the cheapest game was here, that was the one that was free, obviously, but this would be Grand Theft Auto 5. So you can see why I kind of went for this deal, right? Because I didn't want to pay full price for all three of these, especially because, like, for this, it's like, also don't need this. I spent the $10 to have it saved on my PS5 for the time being, where if you're on PlayStation 5, it's only $10 to have a digital copy of GTA 5, and that's honestly not bad. And I'm not as pessimistic about the fact that it's been across 3 generations. We've got, you know, Grand Theft Auto 5 that entire time. And it is disappointing that we never got a proper GTA on at least the PS4 cycle. But I'm also a huge Grand Theft Auto fan, which I've outlined plenty of times before. I love this game, or at least the story mode. So it's kind of like, of course I had to get this on disc. And because I already have it digital, that will stay sealed. Next, from Amazon, this is kind of silly, but I didn't realize that this was even a game that was real and got printed. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for PS5? I forget what this was, maybe $20-$30, but I actually really love this show a lot. So I figured, why not? They actually printed it on disc, and I've got it across various platforms where whenever they, you know, made this game, like there was one on PS1. That was back when Regis Philbin was the host, and that's the host in North America, mind you, or not North America, just America. Chris Tarrant is the original host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but this show is syndicated like across like 100 different countries, so there's tons of different hosts. But yeah, I actually really like this show in particular, so I figured why not. It's always a little fun to mess around with this. Also a loose disc, which You know, to be honest, so a lot of people have been asking, how do you recenter the discs? Or some of you have told me how to do it. For PS4 or PS5, this is really easy. What I like to do is use the flashlight on my phone. And because these cases are clear, I can kind of look in there, see where the disc is, try and center it, right? And I think I've got it centered right there. And you put it on a flat surface. And for these cases in particular, you kind of apply some pressure in this top right corner. That might get it back in. So now it's no longer loose, or at least I'm pretty sure. Might come undone if you can't hear like a proper click sound, but just as kind of a quick thing on video, that's one of the ways to do it. Anyway, yeah, we've got, this is new because it's from a limited run, so let's take a look at this. Hey, Shantae, Risky's Revenge, with the little cards they give you. These are always pretty cool. Although, I feel like most people don't actually go out of their way to collect those. It's just kind of a nice little bonus thing. And this is the extra little box they sell. You have to pay extra for this if you want it to be shipped in a box, which is kind of a pain. But at least it will get to you in pretty good shape. No loose disc on that one. And yeah, Shantae, you know, I'm not even that big on this game. I'm really not. I'm not huge on this franchise whatsoever, but it was really something where I learned about it because of how expensive this series is. No matter where you can find it, on Switch, of course, the prices are pretty insane, but they had this the pre-order up quite a while ago, so I figured why not go for all the copies on PlayStation 5, which I feel like will be a bit more uncommon compared to where most people are buying it on Nintendo Switch. And of course, the originals prices are insane. I don't know what it is about this franchise. I really don't. I've never played it, although I certainly would like to at some point, so I figured why not? It's not really like, there are certain games nowadays where it's like, even if I'm not super interested in them, just more casually, like my interest is piqued, you kind of have to think nowadays, all right, I should probably buy that now before it's straight up impossible if someday I do play it, and then I really like it, and it's like, well, now it's not really affordable to go and buy it. You know what I mean? So, kind of a bummer, but yeah, I've got more of those on pre-order, and when more of them show up, I'll grab them. All right, let's knock out some of these boxes, because we got a lot of them here. There's our first PlayStation 1 long box. And this one's kind of pricey, unfortunately. And there's not many of them on eBay at any given moment. But A-Train is kind of like a city builder. And wow, you know, I'm actually quite pleased with, like, yeah, it was pricey. I think this was like $70-something. And I did make an offer to bring it down to like, well, I got it down from their asking of like $80. But look at this long box. This is really, really good condition. This is the long box where it's, well, it's all cardboard. So you've seen the two versions before where there's another cardboard, but it's got like a real ridged plastic design here. This one is the all plastic. And we do actually have documentation, so that's great, because I don't remember if this listing had it. Oh, it came with SimCity 2000 as well? Interesting. I don't think this game is supposed to come with SimCity. I actually bought this in the last... Was it the last collection update where I bought SimCity 2000 on the original PS1 and also Game Boy Advance? I don't remember this listing that it was supposed to come with this. And also, I don't think this is the original foam. Maybe it is. The foam is usually quite large to where it's supposed to cushion away from this this manual. Anyway, these two games do kind of go hand in hand, oddly enough, so I actually am not 100% sure. Like, you can even see this documentation here where they're advertising SimCity, right? So, I actually don't know if it was supposed to come with SimCity, to be totally honest. So, that was really a welcome surprise. But let's take a look at A-Train. Oh, it looks really good. Wow. You know, it's always beautiful when you can see the lighting and the reflection. There's actually another version of this case where there's some kind of sticker here that mentioned something about SimCity or whatever. I don't remember exactly what, but there's a different variant of this where there's a big label right here, and I'm not sure if it's printed in the box or if it's a sticker that's on top of it, but this copy is completely clean, and it looks so good. Very pleased with that. Moving on, and we do have kind of a very expensive PS1 long box in here lingering, so I don't remember which one it's in. Good timing here because I can actually show you the other variation of PS1 long boxes. So, we didn't have one in the last video. This is basically where it's like a Saturn case. It's almost exactly like a Saturn case. They had a lot of spares during that time, and so a lot of developers back then were also printing their PS1 games, or they were printing them and also using these. So actually some PS1 long boxes, some games use like all three of them. Some games, the developers only went for this case and let's say the full cardboard. It's kind of a mix and match sort of thing, but for the original Ridge Racer, it only came in the Saturn case, or at least I'm fairly confident. So that's something where, again, there's some mixing and matching going on. Some games, they came out first on the long box and they got the standard smaller jewel cases, but this one only in the kind of Saturn knockoff case, but it's still a PlayStation game. And I do prefer the full cardboard ones, because this is like, it's always kind of a pain when you have all these games that are like in different box arts. Like, for example, PS3 has 3 different variations. But let's move on to another long box here, because I can tell right... Oh, it's not a long box. Interesting. I could have sworn there was a long box in that one just from the way it felt. But this I've been eyeing for a while, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't buy it sooner. Half-Life for PlayStation 2. Yeah, I was eyeing this one for a bit, and unfortunately it kind of got pricey. It's a CD game, by the way, so you got that blue disc, that gorgeous looking blue disc. This game though, it's interesting. I feel like a lot of people actually don't remember or are aware that the first Half-Life was on PlayStation 2, and that means there's actually a way to play the full Half-Life series on, well, barring Half-Life Alyx, which we're hoping that will be for PSVR 2, but barring that game, you can play Half-Life, Half-Life 2, and the episodes across PlayStation, PS2, and then the orange box on PlayStation 3. So I've been meaning to get this for a while, and unfortunately it's recently gone up in price, so I was late on that one. This, I think, is my new copy, and it is, of Metroid Samus Returns 3DS game. I think this is the first time we've had a 3DS game show up in these videos, but this one's new. There's still some new copies floating around out there for about basically retail price, $50-$60, and I figured really should knock out most of the Metroid games that I really want, and I've got another one on the way that is a little bit more pricier than this one, but yeah, should probably start getting Metroid out of the way because I can absolutely see this getting expensive. And if anything, we might see more 3DS games show up on here because the eShop, is going down, and I already did a good amount of buys for digital-only games on that eShop, but I will still always go physical when necessary, or as a preference, I will. Extreme Pinball. Is it weird to think that I'm not like crazy on pinball games, but occasionally I can spend a good amount of time with them? And so we got Extreme Pinball because it was a PS1 long box game, and this is one of the cheaper PS1 long boxes. There's not really many of those, so this was, I think, if I remember correctly, like $20-something, so not terrible, and good way to get started, right? There's a handful of PS1 long boxes that are in that $20-$30 range, still to this day. Extreme Pinball is one of them. Alright, let's actually take a look at another monthly magazine from the Video Game History Foundation, and you'll notice I have 2 of them here because we're getting really backed up on these. I actually have 3 right now because it's been like 2 months since we did one of these videos rather, and usually we're at like a 4 to 5 week gap between these, so that's why they're starting to pile up, and I already have another one on the way. Oh yes, that is what I'm talking about. We got a Nintendo Power. Let's take a look at the headlines on this one. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, hit movie, hot game. Game Boy Altered Space. There's a little contest here. Win a trip to pick up your Super NES. The source for news and strategy straight from the pros, with that beautiful seal right there. I love these things. Although, of course, it would be appropriate for us to, at some point, land a official PlayStation magazine, which we haven't gotten just yet. We had a lot of, what was it, Game Pros, right? So we haven't gotten one of those yet. So I think, in terms of what, what we're trying to land, hopefully we'll get one of those soon. This, if you remember, I mentioned this in another one of those videos, or one of these that we've done. Was it the last one, actually? Either way, I don't want to digress too much here. Castlevania, the Anniversary Collection, I mentioned how I was upset that I didn't order this from Limited Run directly, and I was way past the point where I could have gotten it, right? So now it's like, oh, they're on eBay for $60, $70, and I kind of just missed out. I forget who it was, I apologize, but somebody reached out to me and said, hey, Video Games New York City, which is a store in Manhattan, they have some of these on their site for like $45. And I thought, okay, that's worth it. I will pay the, $10, $15 premium. Obviously not much, because you could just buy this $30 from Limited Run at the time. But $45, I said, okay, I'll grab that, because this is, it's Castlevania. It's not like this is not going to hold value or totally be worth hanging on to. And I don't want to stress I know we talk a lot about values. It's just something where I'm sure a lot of you are interested in that aspect of it. I don't care too much. It's just more something where I want to grab it. So it's, before it becomes $200, I have it now. And Castlevania, of course, is a great franchise. So very happy to have that. What's also odd, though, is that I ordered that online, and then like 3-4 months later, I actually went to New York City. And I went to the real store. So it would have been cool to actually just grab it right then and there. Which, by the way, I ran into somebody at that store that watches these videos on this channel. So it was great talking to you. It was really cool. It does not happen too often that I run into somebody that actually has watched the channel before. But when it happens, it's so humbling. So thank you. Yeah, that was a really nice talk we had. So that was great. If you ever run into me, you're more than welcome to approach me, and we can talk about some games, PlayStation stuff, whatever you want. That was super cool. Now, we've got another PS1 long box, The Need for Speed. This was standard PS1 full cardboard long box, and this one, too, is in great shape. Oh my god. Oh my lord. It's, it's always hard with the pictures on eBay. I always try to pick an auction that has high-resolution pictures. Decent price, although I've said before, I'm willing to pay the premium if it's, one of the better copies that are available at the time. And if this isn't one of them, I don't know what is. So, gorgeous looking. Although a lot of these games are always missing the foam insert, but that's fine. Now, where is this game that I'm looking for here? There's a really expensive one. Here it is. And good thing it was in a larger box. Warranted, of course. This is probably one of the, well, I think this is, if it's not already, it's going to be soon. One of the most expensive PS1 long box games, and that's Kingsfield for the original PlayStation. And this one is in the standard cardboard but real ridged box design. Kingsfield is basically, for those that don't know, this is like the original Demon's Souls, basically. This is an original FromSoft game. And this game, this game is very expensive. So unfortunately this one is beat up, but for $100, that was about the top end of what I was willing to pay. Granted, this isn't totally like beat up here. You can put this back together, but a full complete copy of this is getting up to like 160, 180, and some of them are in really poor condition. I was okay not having the manual, and also there's a little tips card. So if you have that complete, the tips card, the manual, and then the foam insert, you're looking at like easily $180 something, or at least the listings at the time when I bought. And you know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, this game was around $50-$60. Would have been great to get it at that price, but of course with the success of Elden Ring and just how much more popular that franchise is getting, yeah, Kingsfield, Kingsfield 2, and then actually there's multiple Kingsfield games, but Kingsfield 1 and 2 are on PlayStation, the first PlayStation. I think 3's on PS. I can't remember exactly, but there's also 4. There's some on PSP. So there's just going to be more interest focused on these games in particular. So I wanted to make sure that I got this before it was just reaching a ridiculous price range. And yeah, it's got the standard wear that you're seeing on a lot of these long box games, or at least these ones, where again it's got the plastic ridge, so that's got to get re-glued, a little bit of restoration, but this is totally getting played. I want to play this game for sure, and it's just so cool to finally have this one in particular. So trying to get some of the, you know, well-known stuff out of the way. Got 2 more boxes left here, and I'm not sure how many more long box games I ordered. Again, we're like 2 months backed up here, so I'm definitely risking these games not being returnable if they don't come out right. Ah, here's another quintessential big game. Tekken, the original Tekken. Yeah, this one comes in the all cardboard or the Saturn case. I was waiting for a really good all box version, and this one is pretty good. I think I got this one cheaper than what it's normally going for, because this one, it was a brand new listing, and it showed up with this little rip here, and I was thinking like, okay, it's a new listing, good price. I think a lot of people are going to not care so much about that rip right there, and so I was like, yeah, I better snag this before it goes away. And I'm glad I did, because seeing it in person, it looks much better than I thought. Got our manual, got our little extra, whatever this is, and the disc is loose. Oh, maybe these foam inserts were standard, these little tiny ones. Usually the foam's a lot thicker. It's supposed to be as thick to stop the manual and all that from really jumping around in there. Perhaps this was original. So I'm still kind of learning how to completely authenticate and appraise PS1 long box games. But yeah, Tekken looking really good, and I'm glad I got this, because that completes, I think that completes the Tekken franchise for me. I might be missing 1 or 2 of them, but for the most part it was really great to get this. The original Wipeout. Now, I did not realize this. It's one of those things where, again, because these are so old, you might not realize it. There's actually a version of this with a slipcover, and that version's a lot more pricey than this one that I picked up here. So this game was, again, I think in the neighborhood of $30, $40, a little bit more on the affordable side. And that was what I thought was the, you know, that's all you could get for Wipeout PS1, was this nice little cardboard long box. But there is a slipcover that came with this, and that pushes it up to like $80 something, which again, I wasn't going to be a stickler about that. Had the manual, so this is pretty much a complete, you know, base copy of the game, and great to add this to the PS1 long box collection. Now, our final Video Game History Foundation magazine. This one is really thick. There it is. We got an official PlayStation magazine. And wow, is this a great one to get. Oh my gosh, Crash Bandicoot Warped Speed Ahead Crash rides again in his 3rd adventure. This is awesome. I just said earlier, we should probably try and like pull a PS1 long, or not a PS1 long box, an official PlayStation magazine. We finally got it. This is awesome. Very happy about that. Oh, that is so cool. 100% reading this later tonight probably. Alright, this is everything, I think, and I am loving the progress we're making so far on the PS1 long box collection. And, you know, like I've said, there's only 108 or 109 total, so there's really not too much left that I want out of that full library. So we'll maybe see a few more of these come up, and then, of course, new titles will show up occasionally as well. But we got a lot of PS1 long box done. Always nice to get something pretty cool and unique on PS2, so as usual, we're knocking out some things here. Definitely going to be seeing some more 3DS and probably DS soon. in these pickups. I'm eyeing a few titles on those platforms, so we'll do a lot more of that, and standard PS1 stuff as well, so not just the long boxes. But made some good progress. I'm very happy. Can't wait to play some of these tonight, which I'm definitely doing. So with that said, that's it. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't just yet, please consider subscribing for the best PlayStation news, reviews, and updates that are here on YouTube, and more collection updates like this. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mystic Ryan, and that is it. I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.